Hello, spooky people. Welcome to Death by Podcast, episode 68, the Dr. Giggles episode. I'm going to start doing that with the whatever the title is, or at least with movies like this. Yeah, Dr. Giggles is today from 1992. I'm your host, Adam. It's your other host over there. Taking a sippy sip.
Gavin.
Yep. Sound like you said Gavin. Gavin Rosdale.
Nope.
What flavor is that? Gold flavor?
Lemon.
It's lemon LaCroix.
Mm-hmm.
Reach out, LaCroix, if you're listening. We'll sponsor the hell out of you. Or you'll sponsor the hell out of us. We'll promote you. Yeah, Kevin. Sorry, last week we missed the week. We had life things, and Kevin was attacked by a werewolf, and I had to fight off some lesbian vampires. It was fun and also very daring of me to do. Kevin, you said, well, going back to before we started recording, I was telling Kevin about a pizza that I had that was unique, to say the least. But the thing I didn't mention was that I was extremely hungry when this pizza came to me, and it was good because of that. But it reminded me, we were talking about Little Caesar. It was Little Caesars. We were talking about Little Caesars back in the day, and how like my dad would always get us like the pizza, which they tried to say like, oh, you buy one, you get one free. No, it's just you're buying two pizzas. It's just they're cheap. And you were talking about how some guy you used to work with would eat like 2 whole pizzas to himself.
Yeah. Well, he would eat one at a time, but he would do it like about 3 times a week.
That's so awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I didn't even realize Little Caesars was still around. But
oh yeah, and they're doing really well because the only thing on their menu, I mean, apparently, I don't know. Apparently, they've added this weird nacho cheese pizza, but like they have 3 things on their menu, and it's pepperoni, cheese, or sausage pizza, and it's
really?
Yeah, and they're finished and ready to go. When you come in, it's like ordering McDonald's, where you're like $5, and they're like, "Yep, here it is. Here's your full pizza."
So you can't get vegetables on your pizza at Little Caesars?
They might have them, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they only have a couple.
Little Caesars had the little Greek guy, Julius Caesar, who had the Noid.
Pizza Hut.
Was it Pizza Hut or was it Domino's?
Oh, it might have been Domino's. Yeah,
Pizza Hut. I don't think Pizza Hut had. Did Pizza Hut have one? A little little dude guy.
But you might be right about the Noid being Domino's.
God, dude, Pizza Hut used to actually be awesome pizza.
Yeah, it was. It was great. It was a dine in, and you had the big red cups, and they gave it in Ninja Turtle videos and stuff. You get there, like it was awesome. It was an awesome establishment. And
the tabletop Miss Pac-Man, it was all sticky because somebody spilled every time. I used to work at Pizza Hut. That was in the 80s. That was good. And then when I was in the 90s, when I was in like junior high, I worked at like a to-go Pizza Hut, and they let us make, as long as we had time, we could make a personal pan pizza for ourselves and eat it. You could do that like 17 times if you wanted, like if you had the time. But those little pizzas, man, were phenomenal. It was like, it was so good. And the last time I had Pizza Hut, like recently, it was like 2 years ago. It was dog shit. It was so gross. Which we live in Chicago. You shouldn't be doing that anyway. But anyway, that's Pizza Talk from Death by Podcast. You said you had some news you wanted to share? Some big news? Breaking news?
It's not big news. It's
exclusive?
It's like 2 days old. No, it's kind of interesting.
Exclusive.
This is kind of cool. Eli Roth is going to be doing Thanksgiving. It's going to be in the theaters.
Is it based on his trailer?
Yeah, which is cool because like it's from
awesome.
Grindhouse.
Yeah.
So, which means I think all of them Well, no, not all of them.
Which ones has he done, or which ones have
Well,
been made?
a bunch of them have gotten made. Like
Which ones?
Machete
Okay, yeah, I remember
was
that.
one. Hobo with a Shotgun.
Was that one?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know that.
Hobo with Shotgun was cool because the rest were so the trailers for the rest of them were like friends of Tarantino and Rodriguez. They were
Right,
like, "Hey, you want to make a trailer for my movie?
right.
You can do whatever you want." And but uh, Hobo with a Shotgun was a contest. They also put it out there like make a fake trailer, and if it's we'll put the best one in the movie.
Yeah.
And then it wound up getting made into a real movie, which I love. Have you ever seen Hobo with a
Oh
Shotgun?
man, it's like at my grasp all the time.
I
I'm
love it.
always like, I
I
gotta
haven't
check it
seen
out.
it in a while, but
Yeah.
it's awesome. It is.
Is-
I would say we should do even. I don't know if you consider it a horror movie. I
No,
mean,
I'd
maybe
totally do that.
we should for H. Definitely.
I that would be an excuse for me to watch it finally. Did the trailer, the original trailer, did it have Rutger Hauer in it?
No,
Okay.
they recast it, but
Okay.
uh, man, yeah, the movie kicks ass. But like, so it was Thanksgiving was the Eli Roth one.
What about Don't?
Don't I forget who did Don't?
That's a movie?
No, they didn't. They didn't
Oh,
make
okay.
that one.
Okay.
And they didn't make Rob Zombie's movie was Werewolf Women of the SS,
Ooh,
which they also have not made yet.
dude, just make that. What are you doing the monsters?
He's doing the monsters, man.
Idiot. Werewolf Women of the SS would be amazing. And I could totally picture what it would look like too. It'd be that weird, gross. It would be lit like I am right now. You know, that's how he does
like how
all this. Like the monsters, yeah. Filmed on video.
I was watching a little bit of the monsters the other day.
Really? You put it back on?
It was on like a Pluto or it was on one of those things where it's
Really?
yeah, and I'm like, man, what is he doing? Like this, it was bad.
It's so like I don't know. Like it was fun to watch, but like looking back on it, I couldn't. I don't think I could watch it again. I would feel too.
No,
depressed.
I watched for about 10 minutes, and you know, while I was doing something else, it was just
What scene was it?
The Paris when they went to Paris, and it was just like
he's like dressed. He's got the.
It was the
hat.
worst. It was.
Yeesh. All right. So Thanksgiving. What was that one about? Was it just like invite a bunch of people over and kill them or something?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember the trailer very well. I think they opened the turkey. I don't remember. I remember them stabbing a turkey. That's all I remember. But but I mean, I like Eli Roth. So
he's hit or miss for me. I can't even. I wouldn't say that I like him. Like what has he done that you've like really liked?
I like Hostel. I like the Green Inferno.
Yeah.
Oh damn. Oh wait, no, that's yeah. Okay, never mind. But let's see.
Green Inferno. I watched maybe like I don't know 30 minutes or so, and I was just like, this is too much, man.
Yeah, I really like it. You know, he did the Death Wish remake, which wasn't great.
Yeah, I saw that. That was rough with Bruce Willis.
That was the only one that I've seen from him that I was like, I don't like this. I don't know why. I don't know what that was. It didn't feel like an Eli Roth movie. I didn't, you know.
Yeah, I didn't see. That was a really weird movie for him, especially for him to make. Because the original Death Wish, that's a horror movie.
The original Death Wish is awesome.
You know, like that's got like that crazy ass rape scene in it, right?
I mean, yeah, it was just weird that he did that. Like to do like
Jeff Goldblum is one of the rapists.
I mean, yeah,
crazy young Jeff Goldblum.
But it would be. It's weird that. That's the thing. Like when I heard, okay, Eli Roth is gonna do Death Wish, I was like, well, that sounds cool. And then it was just like a nothing remake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like every other. It could have been anybody.
Bubblegum.
You know?
Yeah. Especially you got Bruce Willis. That could have been like a really good. You could have done some Tarantino style, type stuff.
Yeah, that like it just reeked of like just a studio like made it. You know,
big time. If they're gonna keep. I mean, if he's going to do those, I want to see Don't, man. That commercial was hilarious. I will never forget about that. When I saw that in the theater, I was just like cracking up, man. Because like what is the movie going to be about? Because like the trailer is just like Marcy is sitting in her Don't, it's like
yeah, that's right.
Like when the phone Don't. There's someone up. Don't. Yeah,
That's
that would
right.
be awesome. All right, well, that's good news, I guess. Maybe, maybe not. Depends on what it is.
Should be
It's a
good.
weird thing to just take like a
A
30
title,
second, yeah, a
essentially. Yeah.
title basically, and just like be like, yeah, so I'm making a movie out of this.
I
But
mean, yeah, Hobo with a Shotgun Man is.
but that's a title that you go like, oh, I can see that. Like that's gonna be that could be a cool ass movie. Thanksgiving, to its credit though, like I can't think of a horror movie. It's like a Thanksgiving horror movie, right? I can't think of anything
No.
like that. So there's Christmas ones, there's obviously Halloween ones. So um yeah, looking forward to it, Eli. Reach out, reach out. We'll we'll talk about it. You got anything else?
No, not as far as news goes. No.
Should we do should we talk about Jefferson Giggles? I think
Yeah,
that's
we
his
get.
name. I think that's the doctor's real name. So what was somebody oh, Halloween. When I said Halloween just then, before I said Jefferson Giggles, um, my brother told me yesterday at the shop, he said, Joe Bob's coming back for a new season, driving at the drive-in, which
Oh, cool.
awesome. I love that show. And Joe Bob said he's excited. I guess maybe his first show for the new season is going to be Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Cool.
Because he finally, I guess that was like one of his like most hated movies for him personally, but he finally realized why everyone loves it and how good it is. So he wants to talk about it. So I'm really excited for that. Anyway, I said Halloween, it made me think of that. But if you ever want to watch, I mean, like I love Svengoolie, but Joe Bob, man, that dude digs deep on his movies. It's a great show on Shudder if you guys want to watch it. But and he doesn't sponsor the show, so Joe Bob, reach out, or Darcy, mail girl, reach out. All right, man. Jefferson Giggles, 1992. So I had picked Deadly Eyes, the movie about killer rats in the sewers of New York. And Kevin talked me into watching this pile of shit. To be fair to Kevin, I had been wanting to see this movie since it came out, since I was a kid, and never got around to it because I was always drawn to crazy, weird horror movies with the VHS boxes. So I'm glad I finally got to see it. But man, this movie does not live up to a pile of shit on a Tuesday. I don't think. Did you like it? What'd you think?
I mean, I didn't love it. I mean, it was pretty forgettable, but it was, in the kind of movies I like. It was, it reminded me of Jack Frost, but like all the stuff we bitched about with Jack Frost, it was like, this one, it was pretty much exactly what what you sign up for.
Is it though? Like I feel like there was a lot. There was a good movie here. I feel like there's a good movie in this movie, and it's like the good movie is like 30 minutes long. It's got it's got a good premise or idea. It had a really good opening scene, I thought.
Yeah.
In the he's like the son of a surgeon or whatever.
You have a crazy doctor.
Yeah, and he goes crazy and they lock him up. And then the movie opens with this scene of like him doing surgery. It looks legit because at first they did a great job of like they show the other doctors up top looking down on his surgery. Which remind me what I just said, because what I just said reminded me. I started watching Doogie Howser. Have you ever watched that?
Yeah, the original show?
Yeah.
I used to watch it when I was a kid.
I did too. I hadn't seen it since then, but the first episode has a similar scene, and it's Doogie Howser's 16th birthday, and the hot nurse that he works with goes after the surgery, goes, Doogie, can you come into this room? I want to tell you something. And she brings him in there. He's 16 years old, and it's just the two of them, and she starts like rubbing on him and is like, Doogie, I've always thought you were attractive. She takes his pants off. He's got like a giant boner. They don't show it, but and then all of a sudden they turn the lights on and all his friends are there. It's like, happy birthday, 16-year-old with a adult female lady, and it's like, what is the show? This show is insane. So anyway, um, back to Dr. Giggles.
I
No,
haven't seen. I'd like to go back and watch it because I watched that when it was on.
yeah, we all did. It was like groundbreaking.
Yeah, I think I watched the original, like final episode, like as it aired, and
Really,
yeah, it was a good show.
it's bizarre, man. It's a really weird show.
Although it might not have been. Who knows? I
I've been
mean,
watching that and Alf lately.
I when Alf first came out on DVD, I got the whole series for like $20, and I did like a deep dive and watched the whole thing. It was,
Talk about creepy, man. Watching.
you know, you don't want to talk about creepy. You know how what happens in the last episode, right?
No, don't. Wait. I thought I. No, don't tell me.
No, I'm not telling you. No, watch it. Just
I will, because I'm making my way through the whole thing. But what like I always thought of Alf as a puppet,
Mhm.
but there's plenty of times where that puppet gets up and runs away, and it's like,
Oh yeah.
what the fuck is that? Like, it's terrifying. There's a scene in the first episode where he's like peeking behind from around a corner, and then he comes running out. It's like, holy shit! Like, how did kids not have nightmares about Alf?
That specifically, that's a lot in the first episode. It's a lot like creepier than
Yeah.
it is later, obviously. But
What's
yeah.
what's the Mrs. Achmonic? The neighborly Willie. Oh my god, this show's it's amazing. So yeah, this opening scene, dude, of Mr. Wiggles is like he's doing his surgery, you think it's legit, and then all of a sudden you look down on the table and it's a dude in a suit and tie or whatever that he's
Which
open.
is,
And it turns out all the doctors up there were like escaped mental patients as well that he let out. And then he escapes. And I was like, awesome. We're off to a good start,
mm-hmm.
But then he goes back to his
childhood home. Yeah.
Right. In this nice neighborhood that's a nice neighborhood, but has this really creepy lot with a house that's creepy on it still for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of takes up residence in there, and nobody thinks to go looking for him there. Like at some point in the movie, someone says, "Oh my god, he's an escaped whatever from 3 weeks ago. He escaped 3 weeks ago, mental hospital. It's been 3 weeks. This dude has been going around killing people, missing, all this stuff, whatever. Nobody has thought to go look at his old house where he used to live."
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
what are we doing? Ridiculous.
and nobody does either. And
Yeah.
it's even like, I mean, we've got another Wiggum cop too, where people
Yeah.
are like,
Yeah.
"Hey man, I think there's a lot of people getting murdered around like this house. There's this, this kid that went missing, and all this stuff, and he just refuses to believe it,
You're talking about like the older white dude, right?
Well, not the one that like is actively ignoring it on purpose. That's definitely the chief of police is like with him, being
Right.
like, no, don't, he's trying to not investigate it.
Yeah. And they had that scene. So the dude, the older white dude with the gray hair, and his partner's the black guy. Like that dude is from Untouchables, the Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
He has, and it's almost literally mirrored the scene where they're in like the locker room, and the black guy finally goes, he's had enough, and he's like, he gets angry, and he's like, "Tell me what's going on with Mr. Wiggles." And the white dude is like, Sonny, you can't handle it. You can't handle the truth. And he's like, "Tell me." And then they get rough with each other, and finally he tells him. That exact scene is in Untouchables with Sean Connery, between him and Connery. I was like, come on, man. But yeah, 3 weeks.
Well, I think this is before, or it's the same year as Untouchables.
Is it?
It's 92. So
92. Yeah, you're probably right.
Maybe Untouchables ripped it off
Nope.
of Dr. Giggles.
Untouchables was 87.
I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
92.
87, dude.
Uh,
Check it out. Look it up while
yeah.
we're debating. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, all right. So Dr. Wiggles brought to you by Manny Cato, the director, um, starring Larry Drake is Dr. McWiggles from Darkman, the villain from Darkman. Michelle Johnson is the one I was talking about from Blame It on Rio. I wrote her name.
Right.
Brought to you by Largo, JVC, Dark Horse Entertainment, which I thought was interesting. That JVC, the sound people, the speaker people were.
Wow, you're right. It was 87.
Was it? All right.
Yeah. Wow.
The movie has an excellent title logo graphic, and like I said, the opening scene. But then I just feel like, man, it just like devolves into like there's like there was no story. He would just come out of his house and go into other houses in the neighborhood and anesthetize people or kill them or whatever.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to do anything or get anything done, or he had no motive. He was like Jason. He just
totally.
I'm just gonna show up and kill somebody. But like at least he killed everybody in like doctor themed ways, like and he used doctor puns and
he did. What's the ice cream one? How's that a doc? What's that? What do doctors do with ice cream?
No, well, it wasn't ice cream. It was like
oh, she eats a bunch of ice cream.
Yeah, it was like an old timey like
stomach pump,
basically to like. Yeah, that was the deal. And then he put like a blade in it, like
and it sucked her guts out. It's fucked up. I thought the best kill was
the nosy neighbor.
The nose, yeah. Well, wait. Are you saying a pun right now?
No, I didn't mean to, but yeah, that was.
I didn't realize that till you said it. She's the nosy neighbor, and she dies by he has this syringe that he jams into her nose. But the reason I love it is because it was this really good cut. It was a practical head. If you notice, all the other deaths they cut away, except for this one.
Yeah, and it was getting on my nerves.
Really on my nerves, man.
Yeah,
because it's like you've got an R-rated movie, like the opening scene. You've got a bloody, filleted man. So what are we doing, like cutting away like this? It had to have been like a budget thing where they didn't have the budget to show.
It could have been
that stuff.
It could have been a ratings thing. Who knows?
But they like he jams the thing up her nose, but right when he like approaches the lady's nose. And then there's a quick cut to a dummy, and then he jams it in. It's a really good cut, really good dummy. I thought it was really her for a second.
That actress, by the way, Nancy Fish is her name.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
She's
in The Mask.
She's in The Mask. Is she in Twin Peaks with an eye patch?
I think she is. I'm almost positive.
You know what I'm talking about? She does the drapes. She gets crazy with the drapes.
I've only done Twin Peaks one time, and
yeah, me too. I think me too. You've got who did I have here? The main chick is not Nev Campbell. And then she's from like Charmed, I think. Then you've got not Kyle MacLachlan, the doctor, her doctor.
Oh, yeah, the doctor. Yeah,
he looked exactly like him. He looked exactly like Kyle. How do you say his name?
Kyle MacLachlan.
MacLachlan?
Yeah.
MacLachlan.
I can think the second one.
MacLachlan? McMuffin?
Yeah.
MacLachlan. MacLachlan. It's such a weird name.
Kyle MacLachlan. Yeah.
You've got Julian from Roseanne.
Yeah. What's it? Glenn Quinn. The oh god, what was the
who actor? Was he in Roseanne?
Oh, he was Becky's boyfriend.
Becky's boyfriend, who they got married and moved away, and everybody was mad.
What the hell was his fucking name on that show?
Julian.
Mark.
Oh, it was Mark. Yeah, on the show.
I didn't realize. So he didn't come back for the remake. At first, I was like, "Oh, that's a bummer." They killed him off. But he died in real life. He died in like 2002.
Oh shit! Wait, they killed him in Roseanne.
Yeah, in Roseanne, the reason he's not in the show is he's dead. Like,
Didn't they also do that to Roseanne after she
yeah,
lost
but
her mind?
they waited a season,
Yeah,
she, yeah.
that's. I didn't watch that, but it sounds morbid as fuck, man.
Well, I watched the first season, and the first season was really good.
Was it?
And then I watched the episode because they kicked her off in between seasons,
Okay.
and it was really bad. It was not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And then I stopped because I'm like, I'm not watching a Roseanne show without Roseanne.
Yeah. And to call it, wait, didn't they change it to the
They
Connors?
changed it to the Connors.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's too bad. That show, the original show, is one of the best.
Yeah.
You want to learn. You want to learn how to raise kids. Watch Roseanne.
I mean, and they kind of fucked her too. I mean, like, I guess she tweeted some goofy shit, but like,
I would argue she fucked herself, but
she did. But they went to her. I mean, she owned the show.
yeah,
She, like, it was her show. Like,
really,
they pursued her to bring it back. Like, Darlene, who was on The View,
yeah,
like, actively like pursued her to be like, let's bring it back and pull it out, and they did it. They got all that done, and then they kicked her off her own show, and they basically told her like, yeah, you could walk, but then everybody like that works on the show is going to lose their job, and so they like forced her to sell it to them.
Yeah,
basically. And I mean, it's fine, but
yeah, like,
it's kind of her show. You know what I mean? Like, it's
still, it's like she's at the end of her career. Sell it, get some money.
I guess.
Speaking of, this movie also has one of the 1990s greatest actors of 1990s of that decade, I would say, Dougie Doug.
Oh, that is Dougie Doug. I was trying to place him. That is Dougie Doug. That's right.
Why do you say that? What do you know Dougie Doug from?
Oh, I think he was a rapper, right? And he also was in Operation Dumbo Drop.
Oh, that's what it was. And Cool Runnings. I don't think he was a rapper. You
yeah, he wasn't cool. He was in Cool Runnings is the big one. I don't know how I forgot that one.
Cool Runnings, man.
It's a good movie.
It's John Candy, right?
Yeah.
I need to see it. I've never seen that.
Lynn's never has either. For some reason, we were talking about it.
It's messed up. It's really messed up. I want to see it. I love John Candy. Dougie Doug. Are you thinking about Dougie Fresh, the rapper?
Maybe.
Dougie Doug. He was one of those people that was just kind of like, he played this character, this role, like he would just, but he was always around in the night. Like there was like a year in the 90s, probably this year, probably 92, where he was just like always around and he was a jokester. He might have been in one of the Cosby spinoffs. I don't know. Different world.
You're right. He was not a rapper. You're right.
Is he in one of the Cosby shows?
The
one where they go to college, Cosby's in college.
A different world.
Different world. Kadeem Hardison. Is he Kadeem Hardison?
He was not in A Different World.
No, I thought he was. He was in some show.
He was in Jungle Fever. He was in Class Act. Those are both movies, though.
Class Act, is that Kid and Play?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Dougie Doug, man.
Mobile Blues. He's in some solid.
He did some stuff. See, he had like a year or two where it was like, hey, how do we get Dougie Doug?
Weirdly, he wasn't on A Different World, but he was on. Apparently, there was another show that was just called Cosby.
That's what I just said. I asked you if he was on a Cosby show, and you said no.
Well, I thought you meant The Cosby Show, and like then we were talking about A Different World.
You're like, no, but he was on a show called Cosby.
But Cosby isn't Cosby. The one I'm looking at is not related to the Cosby Show. It's just another show that Bill Cosby did.
Yeah, I know.
It's 96.
It's not Huxtable based, right?
How do you have a show? How do you have one of the most successful shows ever?
Yeah,
it's named The Cosby Show, and have another show and you name it Cosby. By the way, neither one of these shows is his name Cosby. Like in the character.
What's his name in the second one?
Hilton Locus.
What? What? No.
And
it's not true.
Felicia Rashad plays his wife.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, she's in
What
it.
is did we just enter into some kind of weird dimension? I feel like we're in Dimension X right now. There's no way that's possible.
This is crazy.
So you're telling me, let me get this straight. You're telling me that Bill Cosby was was on a show called The Cosby Show where he played Philip Huxtable Esquire. And
Cliff Huxtable.
Cliff. I'm thinking of Uncle Phil. Clifford Huxtable Esquire the third on The Cosby Show. That show ended and he started also where his wife was Felicia Rashad. That show ended and he started another show called Cosby where he played his wife was Felicia Rashad again, but he played someone named Liftmas Potato Sack Man or something. What was it?
Hilton Lucas.
Hilton Lucas? What is that? What kind of name is that? No one remembers that name. I've never heard that name in my life where it's like everyone knows Cliff Huxtable. Hilton Lucas? Jesus Christ, what is happening? Are we talking about Mr. Wiggles here? This movie also had another really, really good condom scene. Not unlike Kevin just rolled his eyes. Not unlike the condom scene in American Werewolf in Paris, our very first episode of this podcast.
Yeah, what a weird. This one was a little. Both don't make any sense.
You want to break it down? Break it down, Kevin. Break this scene down.
Oh, okay. So you've got the weirdest character in the movie, maybe. And he's got his girlfriend, and they're up in his bedroom, and his parents are away, right?
Yeah.
And I think he's babysitting his little brother.
Playing video games, yeah.
And he stole his mom's lingerie from her suitcase. And he gives it to his girlfriend to wear, which is weird, which is fucking weird. And he's not even like embarrassed or like, he's just like, look what I stole from like whatever. And so she says, I'll wear this if you put on a condom. So he goes into the bathroom to put on, and he drops it in the toilet, and he's having a real hard time. He spends, I don't know, feels like forever.
It's at least 3 to 5 minutes. This scene,
yeah, trying to fish this condom out of the toilet with a toothbrush. While he's in there, Dr. Giggles kills his girlfriend by checking underneath her tongue, like with a
depressor,
jams into her head. And then
that's a good scene where you get the perspective from inside the mouth.
That's
looking out.
Well, that scene where you get the perspective inside the mouth is still the nosy.
Oh, lady. Really? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh. But you might get it in that scene too.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, he kills her while he's dicking around in the bathroom with this condom. He is acting like a condom is like this thing he's never just what is this? As if it's like this alien life form that he's got to like.
Also, he's trying to fish it out of the toilet, but like instead of just like reaching in and grabbing it, but even you fish it out of the toilet, you're still going to be touching it, whatever was in the toilet. So just reach in the toilet and get it. This scene is so asinine. It's insane.
Yeah. And then he goes to get in bed with his girlfriend. She's underneath the covers. He goes to crawl underneath the covers. Dr. Giggles is underneath the covers, and Dr. Giggles chops his dick off.
But he's not just under the covers. He's like laying on the pillow, looking at him, so that when the sheet goes up and he like, he's like under the sheet, he's like getting to his girlfriend or who he thinks is his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And then and he's like laying on the pillow all like sweet and nice, and then he chopped his dick off. I mean, oh man, I don't even know. But yeah, that character, that dude, he was like an ultimate 90s kid. With like ultra skinny but ripped, and like that spaghetti hair.
Yeah, he had the hat that would just sat on his hair.
Yeah,
he didn't wear the hat, it just sat on his hair. And then he also had the big John Lennon glasses.
Yeah.
Like very 90s, man.
I forgot to mention Dougie Doug is like the first, I think, character to die in the movie.
Yeah.
Not to back and
because
forth.
they go, so it's these couples and they go in, and I thought this was going to be the premise of the whole movie, but it, kind of this like group of couples, they go into Dr. Giggle's house to like, fool around and whatever. And then they just lock, like, yeah, Dougie Doug and his girlfriend, they just lock them in a closet and leave, basically. And Dr. Giggles happens to be in there and kills them both. And,
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been some, like, at least a decent setup for a movie. But there's really no rhyme or reason for this dude. I don't even know what he's trying to get. What's his end game? It's something to do with this chick's heart, Nev Campbell's heart.
yeah, it's not really explained, I don't think. Is
His
he
wife died of a bad heart, right?
No, his mom
Or his
did.
mom. Sorry, his mom.
Yeah, so I think he's trying to do a heart transplant,
Okay.
but he's crazy.
Right.
So on who, I don't know,
Right.
but
Um,
oh no,
the,
wait, but she's
she's got
having
a
like
bad
heart
heart.
issues. She's
Yeah,
got a
she's got
bad
a bad
heart,
heart.
so maybe he's trying to give her heart surgery.
I think he's trying to do, yeah, I think he's trying to, like, his whole motivation is to, like, relive his mom's death, kind of, and he thinks he's gonna help someone with a heart transplant when in fact taking someone's heart out the wrong way is gonna kill them, obviously.
I mean, he might be a good doctor. I mean, I don't know. He just like gets up, like you never really get to see him do doctor thing. Like, he just gets excited and kills people in the middle.
Which, speaking of getting excited, it's called Dr. Giggles. He doesn't,
He giggles a lot.
there's not enough laughing. You think he does?
I mean, he giggles a lot. I don't know. I don't know. I don't love the casting, to be honest. I mean, Larry Drake's fine. He
Yeah.
works, but like, I was looking at IMDb, and I mean, it is IMDb, so it could be total horseshit. But
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
I guess this was pitched to like Ted Danson and
Whoa.
a couple other people. Yeah,
Thank you, Ted, for passing this up. I do not want to remember
I mean,
Sam Malone.
he would have been coming off of Cheers, like,
right. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
going to this.
This is the year it ended. Totally.
Yeah, I mean,
Jeez. I don't know. It's called Dr. Giggles. I feel like he should be doing jokery kind of laughing, but instead it's just like
yeah.
which I guess technically is a giggle. Would you say that's a giggle?
Oh, that was what Matt Frewer, it says, was considered for the part. Matt Frewer would have been perfect.
Yeah, I could see that.
That would have been awesome.
Max Headroom.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's also on a really good episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Fuck, I thought we were gonna go through the whole episode.
He's a really good one. It's one you should watch, actually.
He would have been good because he's a great actor and a good character actor like this, but I don't know if I could really see him as a villain like that. Has he ever played like a sadistic psycho villain?
Yeah, in the Generation X made for TV movie.
Really? Really?
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
X.
Yeah, from the comics.
That's weird. That came
Have you
up.
ever seen this?
No, I just learned of it last month or something because I've been buying Generation X issue 1. It's got a chromium cover.
Yeah, I have it. Yeah,
you can get it for like $1. It's worthless, but I think it's got first appearance of a couple characters that I really like. So anyway,
I would. That was my favorite series when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah,
he's the villain in that show.
Yeah. Well, it was a pilot for a show that never got made. And so
okay.
they made it into a TV movie. And at the time, like, I was into Generation X and I was pumped on this movie. I mean, I had it on tape. I watched it a million times.
Is it based on the comic? Are they related at all?
Yeah. Banshee's in it. Emma Frost is in it.
Really?
Jubilee's in it. Who else? They trade out like it's not like Chamber is.
That's what I was gonna. Chambers the one.
Chamber's not. Yeah, Chamber's not in it. It's a guy. It's a guy. There's another guy who's kind of Chamber, but he doesn't. He does his chest doesn't explode or anything. He just shoots stuff out of his eyes. Okay. Husk isn't in it, but there's another chick who's basically Husk.
That's so weird.
Mondo's in it. Yeah, I mean,
Really? That's so
yeah.
bizarre, man.
If you,
Chambers the one I buy that issue for because I think he's going to be a pretty cool character at some point. But uh, that show, somebody sent me the picture of the poster, and like it's got some awesome taglines on it. I forget what they are
I
exactly.
man, yeah, man, I've probably seen it 20, 30 times. I used to watch it all over and over again. I taped it and just
Really?
yeah. If you ever want to watch, if you want to watch that for the Patreon, I'm down.
Yeah, I would do that. That's awesome.
I mean,
That's awesome.
it's like an hour there and some change, but
Yeah. No, I want to see it regardless. Um, did you notice the ice cream scene? She takes the ice cream out of the freezer to eat it, and it's soup already.
no, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
I then noticed the weirdest adult behavior I've ever seen. She's upset because her first of all, the reason she's upset is nuts.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She's
She's a
upset that her
bitch. She's a
husband
bitch.
went out to go look for,
Right.
you know, his dog, which is whatever. I buy that. But then she takes ice cream and she's all bummed and she's sitting on the bed and then she just throws it at the mirror. Like not even like, but she's not even like it'd be one thing if she's like, I'm pissed off. I'm just angry. She's just like low energy, throws all the ice cream on the mirror and then goes to clean it up. And then Dr. Giggles is behind her. It is
Yep.
is
Yeah,
who
she's the one like she gets her stomach pumped
yeah.
by the Langoliers. Um, so that takes the other. There's two other scenes in this opus, this magnum opus, where that really stuck into my brain. Um, the first one being this whole mirror scene, the funhouse scene.
Yeah.
Fuck this scene, man. Jesus Christ. Like these
Yep.
guys, whoever Manny Cotto thought he had something with this. He was like, this is gonna be groundbreaking, revolutionary. We're gonna do this funhouse mirror scene where nobody knows what they're looking at or if it's real. It went on for like
Yeah.
17 minutes maybe or
And it goes
something.
on and nothing happens.
Holy shit.
It's
And it gets to the point where it's like psychological. It's like it's not just fun with mirrors, but it's like, is it a dream?
yeah,
It's
it
the
was bad.
worst.
It was like a yeah, it turned into like artsy bullshit and it
Yeah,
was like where is this coming from, man?
yeah, very bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's Manny Cotto. Oh man, I wrote it down somewhere else because I looked up afterwards, but he's got a weird resume of things that he did. I can't remember what it was. It was something else that we watched recently or for another episode, but um, the other and he also made weird choices with this movie where he did like he would do steady cams and weird shots. There's a scene in the police station
Mm-hmm.
where all the cops are sitting around talking.
He did Tales from the Crypt, by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah,
That's what it was. It was an
that's how
episode that we saw. Yeah.
yep,
He also directed a few episodes of Star Trek Enterprise. But
of course. God damn it. Do you remember the scene in the police station where all the cops are sitting around talking about like um Dr. Giggles isn't real, he's not here, whatever, blah blah blah.
yeah.
Dude, I don't know if you noticed it, but it's a 5-minute scene, no cuts. And he did it intentionally. Like the camera goes from character to character as they each talk and back and forth. No cuts. Super impressive in a different movie. So, but in this one, it's like why? It's just a bunch of cops sitting around saying stuff. But for some reason, Manny Cotto wanted to like
Just
use
one
this.
take.
Yeah, like use this as like his look what I did in my portfolio bullshit. I don't know.
I mean, it is a nice scene. Like
It is.
it flows and it
Yeah.
goes. Don't they go from room to room and stuff? Like
If the camera eventually follows the black guy and the other cop out, and that's when they have their disagreement or whatever. This is very strange, very strange. Um, but then the other one is just this like fucking flashback with this kid, man, where the old white
oh
dude,
yeah,
the old white dude like flashes back when he's telling his story about why Dr. Giggles is so evil. And he flashes back to when the mom died and they came after the kid and the dad. And the only way he could get the kid out of the house without being taken away is to smuggle him out inside the dead mom's body.
Yeah, which I didn't see coming. Like
I didn't
they
see
kept
it.
saying like we don't know how they got him out of the house, and some say he's still in the house, he's still in the walls and shit like that. But like, wasn't expect. I mean, you know, but it was pretty hardcore.
But this cop is upstairs in the cop room doing he's having a drink or whatever on duty. And all of a sudden he hears like giggles, like laughing.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, who's laughing? Who's laughing? And he chases this laughing down the street, down the stairs, through the hall, into the basement. And it turns out it all of a sudden, like, he uncovers the mom's dead body in the morgue. And this kid, all of a sudden a knife comes up, slices the mom open, and the kid comes out alien style. And it's like you were hearing this kid laughing inside of his mom all the way upstairs, down the hall, outside, and it's like, what the fuck? But man, that was wrong, man. Some wrong shit.
I dug it. I was like, all right, I'm in for this. You know, it makes it. I don't know. It kind of. Yeah, it just the potential for the rest of this movie is like, you know, like you'll do a scene like this, but then everybody else like has
Cuts away.
off-screen deaths or
Right.
like, you know,
Their budget had to have been zero.
yeah,
And that's probably why it's like this. Because like if you're gonna do this was like a I don't even know. This was like a Hellraiser scene, like basically. This kid coming out, he's all
yeah, but it was
smiling.
you know, but it was lit like the rest of the movie, which is lit like a, you know, like a comedy,
Yeah.
you know.
How do you have any insight on like, I guess maybe child acting laws were different back then, but what do you do? How do you go to a kid's parents and say, here's the scene that we want your kid in? And then how do you get the kid to do this and not be just fucked for the rest of his life? Like, how does that work?
Nah, you're fine. Parents will let their kids do anything, man.
But that's.
Have you ever seen? Oh, what is it? Is it Nathan for You? I think it's the Nathan Fielder show, where he like is having. I forget what it is, but he's basically he has to hire a bunch of kid actors, and it becomes like a kind of a spotlight on like these parents, where he's like, yeah, so here's the deal, like they're gonna be crucifying like the kid, like he lays out the most like fucked up scenes, and the parents are like, yep. They're like, he's like, and he's talking about 3-year-olds. They're like, can she lose like 20 pounds by next week? And they're like, yeah, that's not a problem. We'll figure it out.
Jesus.
Like, people don't give a fuck about like this is. I didn't think for a second like, how did they get the kid to do that? Because I mean, like,
guess just the whole setup. It's like, can you imagine what this is 92? So this kid is probably around our age. He's closer to your age, probably ish. And can you imagine?
Yeah, 92. I was 9, so
Yeah,
you know,
ish, something like that. So can you imagine at your age, your parents all of a sudden come up to you and go, "Hey, check this out. You don't remember this because you blacked it out of your head, but like this is what you did back in 1992." That would be inexplicable. I think. I don't know. Madness. You'd let your kids do this?
I mean, if my kid was an actor and he wanted to do it, and it was like, yeah, hey, you know, he's good for this part.
They don't know what they want when they're 10 years old. Nobody knows.
I mean, if my kid was already an actor and he was offered this part, I'd do it. I mean, it's not. It's like crawl into the thing, and because it's like a table, like, you know, he's already in the table, and it's just like climb out, and yeah, I'm sure he's fine.
Cover him in blood. Oh my god! I don't know. There's a couple other, I guess, scenes of note. The self-surgery scene where he gets shot and he's like sewing himself.
Oh, that was cool.
I guess, yeah. There's the doctor fight. That was actually pretty good. I like this doctor fight. It was Kyle McMullen
versus
Dr. Giggles. and they
Yeah,
like
he kills him with the blood pressure machine.
blood pressure cuff. Like I forget, how does he get it around his neck in the first place? Because they're fighting.
I think he just puts it around his neck.
Does he knock him out? He knocks him, or does he like just walk up to him and the
Doesn't
guy's
he stab him or something? And
yeah,
he gets him on the ground and then
yeah,
yeah.
and his head like swells up. It's fucked up. But I like the scene because it's like I think Dr. Wiggles has the mallet that you test your reflexes with, except it's like really big. And then the other dude has like a knife or something, and they're like going after each other. It was really good. It wasn't just like Dr. Giggles gets the jump on everyone. This dude was like ready to throw down.
Yeah,
Just,
and they were fighting with a bunch of doctor stuff.
Yeah,
it was good.
It was good. Yeah, I don't know. Aside from that, yeah, it's got the house blows up. Dr. Giggles obviously escapes through this whole like arduous thing with Julian and all that stuff.
Man, this was like Lord of the Rings with the endings, man.
Yeah,
like
it was the second ending.
I was like, okay, great.
You say that like you're not a Lord of the Rings fan.
No, well, it's fine for Lord of the Rings. They earned it, but like it's I just watched all 3 extendeds, by the way. But yeah, it was just like, okay, well, they blew up the house. He's dead. And then next scene, nope, he's not dead. He's, back and like half melted. And then I think they did it again. It was just like, come on.
Dude, his death scene, his actual death scene.
Mm-hmm.
And he like, what does he say? He like looks in, I wrote it down. So she electrocutes him.
Yeah.
Which has some really good, the thing they could have saved this movie is if they had more rotoscoping throughout the movie. I fucking love rotoscoping. And like, she electrocutes him. There's this cool, like Bill and Ted electric vibe things. And then he looks directly into the camera. And what does he say? It's like, it was like an apple a day keeps the doctor away or something. It was a joke.
Yeah, it was something like that. And I forget what it was too, but
it was like,
it didn't do it for me. It wasn't.
Take memorable. 2 of these and call me in the morning or something. Or did you take your medicine? I did. I don't know, something like that.
Is that something doctor say?
Yeah, it is. No, isn't it?
I don't.
Your doctor doesn't say that to you?
No, not that one.
Maybe it was like, bend over. My finger is gonna see if you're not sick or something like that. Don't doctors say that?
No, that's not my doctor. I don't know. Maybe it's your weird doctor says that.
Yeah, so he looks directly in the camera though and says this, and it's just like, all right, I see what this is. It took me the whole movie though to see what this was. Yeah, a pile of shit. Don't watch this movie if you haven't watched it. I say. I'm glad I saw it because it's one that's been on my list for a while, but
I didn't mind it. I mean, I feel like it's a decent hangover movie. It's,
Is it?
I mean, if you're gonna watch a shitty,
but we watch a lot of movies like this, and I usually enjoy them. I'm able to accept them for what they are. I think my biggest problem with this one is that, like I said, there's a good movie in here. If you maybe, I don't know, just give it a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Again, I felt
like differently.
Like Jack Frost, where it's like, come on, you're right there. Just make it a little bit better.
Jack Frost, man, had like the only thing it had going for it was that Shannon Elizabeth was hot, I think.
But it had a killer snowman. I mean, it was,
it didn't though, really, did it? I don't know. It's deceitful. That movie.
We forgot to talk about Cocaine Bear, by the way, but that's fine.
Oh, snap. All right, save that and I'll watch it and then we'll be able to talk about it together.
Okay.
We're going to do that.
If you want to.
We were going to do that for What'd You Watch. Yeah. All right. Doctor. So D. So you stole my letter D. Now you've got the letter E. What'd you pick for letter E for next week?
I was thinking.
Wait, let me guess. Is it extra 3?
No. But that begins with an X, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. That's right. That's right. It's like X-ray. Go ahead.
I mean, I went with the easy one when Evil Dead 2. I mean, there's Exorcist, there's Edward Scissorhands. Now I'm kind of pumped for Hobo with a Shotgun, to be honest.
EFGH.
But
So I'll have H, Hobo with Shotgun. Okay. I have a question. So Evil Dead 2. Would you be willing to, since I sacrificed, would you be willing to trade for Evil Dead 1? Would you do Evil Dead 1?
Sure. I haven't seen Evil Dead 1 in a really long time.
All
And
right.
I've only seen it a couple times. I've seen Evil Dead 2 a million times. So yeah.
I mean, they're roughly the same movie.
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2 has the bigger budget and a slightly different story. But I think if we do Evil Dead 1, that'll give us a little more street cred. And I just can't remember the last time I heard someone talk about Evil Dead 1. It's always Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness.
Yeah, watch Evil Dead 1, sure.
All right, let's do that. Cool. Yeah. All right. Evil Dead 1 next week. I believe that was 1980. I think. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it might be 81, but yeah, you might be right.
Somewhere in there. All right, that's exciting. I look forward to that. Because it's got all the weirdness. Lots of juice. It's juicy movie. In the meantime, is there something else? Is there anything else I'm missing? No. You guys, if you want to find us on social media and talk to Kevin, he loves tweeting and Facebooking. So you can find us on Instagram as our hub at Death by Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Death by Podcast. But if you look at Cronin Oates on Twitter, that's kind of like my hub. And I tweet out this podcast more there than I do on our Death by Podcast Twitter. Anyway, but check us out on Instagram. And if you want to support the show, if you enjoyed the show, spread the word. And if you spread the word and you want to support after you're done spreading the word, if you want to support the show directly, you can check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/deathbypodcast, where you'll find our bonus mini podcast, BoobTube TV. This week, we talked about episode 2 of the 1988 Werewolf TV show, which is a really good show. I really like it. I think Kevin kind of likes it. Starring Chuck Connors and some other guy named Julian something plays Eric. But it's got one of the coolest, most underrated werewolves, I think, in horror cinema. So yeah, patreon.com/deathbypodcast. Support the show, behind the scenes stuff. We got stickers at different levels, tier levels and stuff like that. But just at the basic $2 tier level, you can hear our bonus podcast, BoobTube TV. I'm wearing the shirt right now. See,
cool.
Hey, shout out to Eric Wolfgang. Check him out, Wolfie Boy 21 on Instagram. He does all of our official pod art, which we need to figure that out and like get. I don't know if it's TeePublic or what, because feel like these kinds of shirts people would love to snag. Yeah, it's like one of the coolest designs ever. But yeah, check him out, Eric Wolfgang. He does some amazing stuff. And I think aside from that, we're good. We good? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
It's good. It's Miller time. Kevin, take it away.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, Kevin. Good job again. Did it. We will see you guys next week with what are we doing? Evil Dead 1?
Yeah, Evil Dead.
All right. Evil Dead. Original recipe. Chicken. Thanks for listening, folks. Be safe. Be spooky. Be what else can they be?
I got nothing.